we are at it again with another project that hopefully there's an end to. Well, it has to be an end to, because
hopefully we do better than we did on the blueberries.
Well, we have to do better than the blueberries, because as you saw in a previous video when we opened up our mail, we have 150 Killarney raspberry plants, bare root, to get in the ground, and they kind of have to get in the ground like ASAP. So that's what we're up to next.
To get you oriented on where we're planting our raspberry patch, we are going down our driveway. And there's our front yard. Chris is about to walk past, and the chicken coop's off beyond. This was kind of one of those odd spaces which we didn't really know how to develop. It gets good midday light. It doesn't get, as you can see, we have a cedar hedge that side and our spruce hedge on that side. But it does, we've kind of gauged it, we get about 6-7 hours of daylight on this. So we have decided that this area is going to be developed for the raspberries, and we will also be putting a raised bed here and a raised bed there in front of the rake. But the plan here, we're using garden ties as the outside. We have 24-foot length by 16 feet wide. So our plan is to run three 3-foot beds in this with 3-foot walkways. And each one will have 2 rows of 25 in it for now. And we're hoping that these will spread really, really nicely eventually, and we'll clone them and so on and so forth to get a really nice patch. So eventually we will have 3 25 by 3-foot beds full of raspberries here. We'll keep you along as we see how far we actually get with this project. We are actually starting right now on Friday night. It was supposed to be raining and it's not, so we got the grass cut, which we did save for animals to eat tonight, and just kind of laying out our logs.
We have all the outside garden ties. These are kind of a salvage thing that was here, and a lot of them are in pretty rough shape, so we've kind of picked the best ones for the outside bit. Essentially this entire area is going to be mulched, but we are going to keep our paths mulched a little differently to try to discourage things from growing in them as much as possible, so that we can get in and still reach kind of both sides of the raspberry rows. Before we do that, we're going to bring in some manure from one of our manure piles. Not as worried about this being completely broken down, but even potentially the pile that we've been collecting from all winter, we might use that as sort of a bit of a base, get the beds kind of partially filled, and then plant the raspberries, or that's the plan, and then kind of mulch over top to keep the moisture in and basically keep the weeds down for the first little bit. We're not as concerned with weeds and that sort of thing, because this will require yearly tending, but in the grand scheme of what it's going to produce for us, and the volume of plants that we have, and of course the raspberries, they do spread, it's really not going to be a lot of maintenance. So that's kind of where we're started. Well, it's day 2 of our raspberry planting, and we've made some progress. We kind of plunged ahead with something because we were trying to figure out what exactly we were going to do. So we'll show you what we've come up with so far. Everybody is hard at work here today. As you can see, we've got this row well started. Basically, we've taken some manure compost out of the large pile in behind the barn and spread that down, and we're going to plant kind of in that and then add more mulch on top of it, because with the raspberries we're going to have to add mulch periodically, probably every year a little bit. And then what we're doing for the paths for now, because we have it, is we're laying down some old feed bags down the middle, and just to make it so we can get at the raspberries better in each of the 3 rows. And we're taking some pretty yucky looking old straw and laying it down kind of as our first layer of mulch. Eventually we'll probably add wood shavings to these 2 paths. So there's a path here and a path here. You can see we've started, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So we're going to go and add the manure mulch, whatever you want to call it, to these two beds and continue on. We'll come back when we get somewhere. Well, we took a bit of a break to have something to eat, and we're about half done filling the row with the manure.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get everything all mulched and whatnot, but we are getting some of these in the ground today.
So we're going to divide and conquer, so to speak. And
I might put my gloves on.
Yeah, they're a little prickly. So these are our raspberries again. And as you can see, we haven't taken them out. What we're going to do, essentially it works out.
So each row is 25 feet long by 3 feet wide. I should say each bed, I guess. Like the whole thing is kind of a... Anyways, you've seen the video. You know what we're talking about. But anyways, so we're going to take 50 out now. Chris has got row 1 or bed 1.
Mostly filled.
Mostly filled with our manure mulch. Not manure mulch, manure compost. So we're going to dig down into the original ground that's there, but also have the manure kind of mix in. So we're going to plant our first 50 in that row, and then we're going to see where we're at. But we don't want to take them all out right now because...
In case we don't get that far.
Yeah, so we've got a bucket of water here, and I'm just going to remove them. Holy cow, they're actually quite
They're
intense.
Impressive. Considering we've ordered plants before, and...
These were such a fantastic deal. I think it ended up being $2 something a plant. Wasn't it around there? I almost should put more water.
Yeah.
That's way more than 10 in a thing though.
Well, maybe just take the one bunch and then get as far as we can and go from there.
18, 20. I think it might be 25 in a bunch. So we probably just need the 2 bunches.
But the roots on them are impressive.
Yeah.
That's good. These should, well, we're getting them quickly. You might need 2 buckets.
They'll go in there. I just need to put more water in.
So we're get these ones in and come back to the rest. But definitely impressed with them. These are from, this is not a plug, but these are from Strawberry Thyme, which is an Ontario company for anybody in Canada.
You do have to order in bulk.
Yeah, the minimum was 150, but at the same time, it's worth it. Well, we can plant it too. Well, it's been a few days.
A week.
And we're back at it. So we did manage to get this row completely planted. And this row with the manure on it. Or the compost, sorry. So I am going to go and get the tiller and see what I can do with that row before we bring the mulch down, the manure mulch down, just to see if I can set it back a little bit. So I'm going to go do that while these guys plant. See how far they can get on this row. We're in the barn, and as you can see, we still have raspberries in the box. It's been like, what, 3 weeks?
I think it's been almost 4 weeks. I'd have to go back and actually look it up.
But everything looks to be doing all right.
Let's see, it's going to dry, but we're going to get them into a tub of water. Oh boy, that one's really sprouted.
Well, we'll get them planted. Anyways, we have, what?
50 more to go.
50 more plants to plant. We have some good news. We are actually finished something. We finally have all the raspberries planted. I'll show you what they look like here in a moment. Here's the bed. We've got our 3 rows, and they're all in. The only thing we have left to do is a tiny bit of mulch on this end over here by James. Not bad, and we've been less than 3 weeks, kind of somewhere between 2.5 and 3 weeks to do this. And you can see some of these are already starting to show some pretty good growth. I think this one here has got to be the best. And this is, of course, the first row. And then the second row, there's a couple. The third row, of course, was spreading in the box. Anyways, it's done. So how's everybody feel about this job being done?
Great. I would say I'm really excited and I feel really good, but I'm also a little tired.
A little tired after almost 3 weeks of planting raspberries for a couple hours? 2.5.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah. And I also wanted to say, who's excited for raspberries?
I'm definitely excited for some raspberries, although we're still probably a year off. I don't think these are going to actually produce us fruit this year. But that's okay. Our other patch will, so that will see us through. But this is going to be a fantastic family raspberry patch for harvesting. Yeah.
Also, I have a daydream. Stuffing my face with raspberries.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be a reality in a year.
It won't be protecting the raspberries from the birds. It'll be protecting them from the kids.